Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. It's our third watch along of the day and different surroundings. Thank you everybody who joined us in the Goldbridge Arms this afternoon for a couple, me and Will. I'm back in familiar surroundings now where I can actually have a drink because I haven't had to drive. Look, we've got loads for you over the Euros. We'll be back in the Goldbridge Arms. We're in the Manchester studio tomorrow. We'll be back in this for England tomorrow night. We're having a great time and we're only 24 hours into this tournament. Just think we've got another month of it. It's going to be great. We're building a community. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you're part of it, absolutely fantastic. Foot Croc says it was a red card. Mate, I mean, we move on to the next one, don't we? I don't really understand why it wasn't given as a red card, but we move on. Simple as that. I think VAR in general has been good in this tournament. And yeah, but look, we're on to another game. And I'm very excited actually about Italy and Albania. A lot of players for Albania actually do play in the Italian league. Proximity, yes, but it's sorry, I've just had a tweet here from Will. He's all right. He's off out. He's got his wrestling. He's happy. Did very well today. Well done to Will. Check out the podcast. We love that. Goldbridge Saves Football. Forza Italia. Yeah, I always have a soft spot for Italy. It's well established that. And yeah, but I think it's going to be an intriguing tournament for the Italians, really. Holders of it. But a lot of people have said to me, and I don't know, that Albania will not be whipping boys of this tournament, Goldbridge. And you know what? They have got some players that you'll recognise. Strakosha in goal is actually their reserve goalkeeper, but is at Brentford. Heise, number 4, you'll recognise him. I can't remember who he plays for now. I mean, he was at Napoli, wasn't he? He might have moved now. Let me have a look. Nope, still. Sorry, Lazio. Was he ever at Napoli? Have I mixed that up? No, he was at Napoli. Yeah, he was at Napoli until 2021. He's now at Lazio. Broja up front, Chelsea. You'll know about him. So they've got a few players that you'll be aware of, and they're well organised. They're managed by former Brazilian, well, he's still Brazilian, former Arsenal player, Silvinho. And Italy, I don't know why we're not getting the old stats carousel going round for you, actually. Let's get that rolling around. There's the Italian team for you. Italy, Donnarumma. DeMarco's a very good player. I really like him. Bastoni, Calafiori, De Lorenzo, Jorginho. You'll know him from Arsenal. Barella, good player. Pellegrini as well. And then you've got Chiesa, Fratesi and Scamacca, who I think when he went to West Ham, I really thought he was going to be a good signing. Obviously, it didn't necessarily work out, but he's done very well again back in the Italian league. So it's just about whether they've got enough quality, Italy, in depth. They are missing a few players through injury as well. Obviously, Spinazzola's really never recovered from the Euros where he had that bad injury. Locatelli, I think, is another one who's injured. Tonali with the ban. So they are missing a few players. But has the United stand shut down, says WN. I was meant to be on the United stand at 7 o'clock, but honestly, mate, I would have done it. But there's really nothing to add from the morning show. Now, if something changes at 10 o'clock, I'll do a show. But there's nothing to add. And look, this sometimes can happen with the Euros. A lot of journalists are focused on the Euros. A lot of people are focused on the Euros. So it can go a little bit like that. It shouldn't do. I did expect there to be stuff going on with United today, but there really isn't. So we will leave it. And I don't want to do a show for show's sake, which people will say you always do that. But no, there really isn't a lot to talk about. So I've decided to just focus on the Euros today, which is good. Are you going to go live for every game, says Daniel? We are live for every game. I'll be doing a lot of them. Certainly from the knockout stage, I'll be on every single one of them. But we have got the Manchester studio that kicks in tomorrow as well. But thanks everyone who's tuning in. If you can join us, that's absolutely fantastic. You're very, very, very welcome, of course. I'm looking forward to this game. Yeah, I do like Italy, but you know, I always like an underdog, and I hope that Albania give us a tournament. I'm really, you know, nobody can guess everything, but I thought Croatia would get a result against Spain, and in a funny way, I don't really have a problem. I don't feel like I got sat down. I feel that Croatia 0, Spain 3 was a fair result, but it could have been very, very different. It could have been a draw. It could have been 3-2. Certainly should have been 3-1. Croatia were quite wasteful and Spain were very clinical. One of the most important things about this Euros that I predicted was that most teams are better attacking than they are defending. And I think the defending that we've seen in this tournament has been shit. I honestly think the defending has been pretty bad, whereas the attacks have been better than the defence. And that's great for us as the consumer. You know, I think international football tends to be slower, more pragmatic, because they don't play together as often, so it's easier to be compact. But football has changed massively in the last 10 years, and I think teams are more programmed to be more, you know, attacking, and we're reaping the benefits from that. I mean, we've had a 5-1, a 3-2, a 5-1, a 3-1, and a 3-0. So hopefully the goals will continue to go in, because it's been a really positive start for the Euros so far. And remember, in Qatar, we didn't get many goals in the group stage compared to other group stages, but this one, I don't know how it's doing so far compared to different tournaments, but it's got to be a big start for goals, and we want that to continue. We want to see goals. So very, very, very excited about it. Croatia Band says that Croatia's defence in that first half was absolutely shocking. We had no players awake in that defence. The defensive line was broken. It was very surprising. But Kevin says they are an ageing team as well. I think we've got a new member here, Clevis, but that was from 536. But we'll give him a shout out anyway. Get your super chats in. Of course, you can do that through the $sign. Join the members club. Get involved. You're very, very welcome. And yeah, every time I look over, I'm seeing the stats carousel. Is that whizzing round? Oh no, it is whizzing round. That's fine. All I keep seeing is the stats, but we do have the that. And do we have the group bit as well? No, I've only got 3 going on here. Let me see if I can find the group table for you for Group B. Let's add that in. And let's take that as well, and that should show you the group as it stands at the moment. Spain top with 3, Croatia bottom with a -3 and 0, and obviously Albania and Italy in there. Loving that, love it, love it, love the stats carousel, absolutely great. Score predictions, I don't know. I think that look, if we're talking about someone like Brighton or Brentford, I can tell you what I think is going to happen. I don't know anything about Albania. I haven't watched Albania play. You know, call it whatever you want. Oh, can't believe you haven't watched Albania play before. Well, I will be honest and say, no, I haven't seen Albania play before. So, you know, I'm excited to see, but they are a bit of an unknown quantity to me. And for that reason, I don't know what to expect. Will they be well organised? Will they be tight at the back and progressive up front? I think that's maybe what they are. And as for Italy, I think they are a club that, sorry, not a club. I think they are a team that has been written off a little bit. Will they be a little bit better than what people were thinking? They are the holders, of course. I mean, deservedly the holders as well. I mean, it could have been England, but it isn't. So, look, I don't really know what to expect from this game, if I'm being absolutely honest. I think it could go... the logical thing is to say it will be Italy, but, you know, what I will say is if Italy were to struggle in this game, then their next game is next Thursday against Spain, which they're not going to want to be going into that with points dropped against Albania. Do you think Rashford and Højlund can work together, says Grace? I hope they can. I think they're going to have to. Pick one player from either team you think United should sign, says GP. Well, I don't know enough about Albania, really. For me, I would probably take Barella from Italy. And from Albania, I'd probably have to take Broja as a striker because he's the only one I know a little bit about. Yeah, simple as. Simple as. 8 o'clock kickoff, yes. And don't forget, tomorrow night, England is the 8 o'clock kickoff. And I think that's going to be a tough game. I don't know what you think about the Euros so far, whether you've learnt enough about it to make you think about England tomorrow. But I was looking at this today, and I'll read it out to you now. Serbia's last few games, just to go through their team. They played a friendly against Sweden last weekend. Mitrovic and Vlahovic as a front three. Milinkovic, Savic, Ilic, Lukic, Pavlovic, Milenkovic, Stojcic. They've got good players. And, you know, who's better, Serbia or Croatia? Well, it matters not. That's not really the question. I don't know why I posed it. The point is, they're not a bad team, Serbia. England should win, but I don't want it to be out there that it's, you know, necessarily a straightforward game for England. I don't know what I think about. I've just got the BBC on in the background, and they've got this studio. Too much green screen for me. Like, you've got a brilliant background, and they've got this side studio bit with what is obviously fake walls and fake trophies. You can see it. I don't like it. You've got a beautiful background. I think sometimes it's a bit over the top with the green screen, really. Pick one player from each team. Thank you very much. We've done that. Hi, Mark. Enjoying all the watch-alongs. I think tomorrow will be a tight game for us, says Tom. ITV Studios better, says Kevin. No United stand. I was meant to the United stand at 7 o'clock. I've said it twice now. There was no news to report, so I will leave it for tonight unless anything happens, in which case we'll do it a little bit later. But, you know, we're doing a lot of Euros watch-alongs. We did a big show this morning where we covered absolutely everything that's going on. There's not a lot to add, so unless we'll just wait for something to happen. Mark, you still think Spain isn't a top team in the Euro? Says Dan. Well, you know what? Watch the game of football. Well done to Spain, but I don't think it was a 3-0. I think that easily could have been 2-2. I think Croatia's defence was terrible. I think Croatia missed some big chances. They should have scored the penalty. Rodri should have been sent off. So I think 3-0 to Spain's a fantastic result. But I don't watch that and go, oh, Spain are going to win the Euros. I still think that Croatia just had a very bad day and Spain had a good day. I would like to see a little bit more. I mean, which is why I think Italy are very exciting tonight, because the next game for Spain will be Italy. Simple as that. Oh my God. Why do people bother coming into the chat? Get rid of that twat. We're still stuck on it shouldn't have been a penalty anyway. Look, I can only speak to intelligent people. I can't. There's a great saying in life: don't go down to the level of idiots because they're masters of it. I can't argue about people who don't understand rules. And, you know, at the end of the day, they gave the penalty. And if they gave the penalty, they should have given the red card. That's just how it works. I can't explain it anymore. If they think it was a penalty, and I've never seen the replay. If there's no contact, then VAR shouldn't have given the penalty. But if they gave the penalty, they should have sent him off because he made absolutely no attempt to win the ball. So it should have been a red. End of story. But if it wasn't a penalty, why did it get given then? But we're watching Italy, Albania. I mean, it's not Man United against Man City. I couldn't give two shits about Spain or Croatia or how it went. But VAR has been very, very good in this tournament so far. And lo and behold, the English get hold of VAR, and massive controversy because this is what we have to put up with week in, week out in the Premier League. It's just not good enough. And we get stuck with it all the time because it ain't good enough. And I wish it was. I wish it was good, but it's not. It ain't good enough. Simple as. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you're on YouTube. Give us a follow if you're on TikTok. It was our referees who seemed to ruin it. Yes, you're absolutely correct. How good do you think Chiesa is? I like Chiesa. The amazing thing about him is, I was just checking his age there, he's still only 26. Still only 26. He's had a few injuries and stuff, but look, they've already won the World Cup. Sorry, they've already won the Euros. They're the holder of this tournament. Can they captivate in this tournament? There'll be a dark horse in this tournament, and I think Germany have been written off ahead of the tournament. Italy have been written off ahead of the tournament. Belgium have been written off before the tournament as well. So look, who knows? 2021, Danny, thank you very much for subscribing, for the follow. Rudiger is joint top scorer for Scotland in international tournaments. No player has scored twice since the 1982 World Cup, says Fraser. And Tom E says, hi, Mark. Enjoying all the watch-alongs. Think tomorrow will be a tight game for... I've done that from Tom. Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, don't forget tomorrow you've got Netherlands-Poland at 2 o'clock. That's going to be very interesting. How good will the Netherlands be? Denmark against Slovenia at 5. And then, of course, England against the mighty... Serbia. I don't know about mighty, but it is England-Serbia tomorrow, which the interesting thing about England is we've got our 2 toughest games first. Like Slovenia on paper are the worst team in our group, but we don't play them till game 3. So we've really got to get off to a good start. Roberto said, I thought you'd be in the studio. No, Will's out tonight, and so I'm back here for this. I enjoyed the studio, though. We're going to do more of those. Really good. Of course, if that's the first time you've seen the Will and Goldbridge combo, we do a podcast every Monday on Spotify. Goldbridge Saves Football. Check it out. Roman Reader says, why isn't the game on ITV? Well, they've had the first 3 games, mate. I think they have to share it out, don't they? Simple as. Simple as. Lucas says Netherlands to the final. And Lilac Wine says, can you shout out my friend Thomas, who's in hospital? There we go. And... what do you think about Albania, says the boys? Well, we're about to find out about Albania, aren't we? The hipsters say that Albania are well organised and aren't going to be the whipping boys of this tournament. So I think that we will have to wait and see if that's how it's going to transpire. It's a tough group to get out of. Spain, Italy, Croatia, Albania. Some say they'll get out of the group. I don't know how realistic that's going to be. But... look, we're here to see, aren't we? Hi, Mark. Greetings from Austria. We have a difficult game on Monday against the French. I'm looking forward to that, Paul. There's some games that I sort of have said I'm definitely doing that on my own, and I think that Austria, a bit like Switzerland, I'm expecting... Well, I'll be very disappointed if France win that game 4 or 5-0. Let's put it that way. I'm expecting Austria to get beat, but I'm expecting them to play well. I mean, France are one of the favourites, if not the favourites, to win it. So they should beat Austria, but I'm expecting Austria to do well. Parker says that you went through a bad patch months ago. Glad you're buzzing, says Parker. Who went through a bad patch? Venom says Italy will win it. Never write off the Italians. Lineker and Shearer are terrible pundits and ITV are clear, says Josh. It's amazing, isn't it? I think growing up, BBC always used to be the creme de la creme of the World Cup or the Euros coverage. If you're not from the UK, we get Sky, TNT, which are subscriber channels you have to pay for. And then we get free terrestrial TV channels like BBC and ITV. When the World Cup or the Euros happens, it's free to air. So ITV and BBC split the coverage. And traditionally, BBC would be better. But I think ITV probably has the better pundits now, if I'm being honest. BBC probably a bit fell off, if I'm being honest. Respect, what will you do? But respect will, but your solo watch-alongs are the best, says Cal. But that's because that's what we always did. You know, for me, it's good to mix it up, and I think for you, it's good to mix it up. And I like actually working with doing the podcast with Will. We're in Dortmund for this one. We were talking about that in the last stream, weren't we? All the locations for the Euros. We've just had the Spanish-Croatia game, which was in Berlin, the biggest ground, which was where the final will be played. This is at the second biggest ground, which is Dortmund, and it looks like it's another sellout as well. So people are really hungry for it, aren't they, the Euros? Because it's the first proper one we've had since COVID, isn't it, really? Respect, done that. Hessen says, I've really missed these streams since the Premier League finished. Looking forward to all the watch-alongs coming up. May I suggest a poll? Chiesa or João Felix, maybe? Says Hessen. I think we can do a better one than that for Chiesa, surely. But Albania, Albania qualifying group. They topped their group. I can't remember who was in it. Just having a quick look here. They were in a group with Poland, Moldova, Czech Republic. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. I don't know. I'm trying to find it here. But apparently they topped their group. They can't have been the same group as Poland and Czech Republic because they're both in the tournament as well. It doesn't make sense. Mark, you've made me hate polar bears, says Armin. Thank you very much. Yeah, LCFC Believer says, that's right, Mark. They were in a group with Poland, Czech Republic and Moldova. But obviously, Poland and Czech Republic are in the tournament because Poland went through the qualifiers. So Harry says Southgate's been sacked. He hasn't, don't worry. Poland won the playoffs. I mean, that Albania topping the group with Czech Republic and Poland is a warning sign, isn't it? That they're not that bad. And if I refer back to my notes, my Goldbridge Euro notes, I will tell you what I wrote down about Albania. That's what I wrote down about somebody else. Where did I put my Euros notes? Euros. Albania. 66 in the world. Weakness, attack. Strong point, defence. Which is interesting. And the same thing about Italy. Weakness, attack. Strong thing in defence. I tell you what, you've got to give me some credit here. Croatia, weakness, attack. Yeah, well, it was. It definitely was. Spain, strength, creativity. Who else have we seen? Hungary, weakness, defence. Yeah, that was true. Yeah. Good notes, Goldbridge. Good notes so far. This could be quite a tight game then. If Albania are good defensively, then that's probably what Italy would say. Rub says, have you seen the Southgate interview today? No, I haven't. But I've seen plenty of Southgate interviews that have been AI'd. I don't know how they do it, but it's very impressive. But no, I haven't seen it. So let me know what you've seen, what you know. Albania to beat Italy, what do you reckon, says user 188707. Well, I don't want Italy to lose, but you do want a tournament at some point to you do want a tournament at some point to throw up a shock because it's good for a tournament. Players coming out onto the pitch here. We're about 7 minutes away from kickoff. This is what it's all about, though, isn't it? I mean, look, we need a break from Premier League football, of course we do. But you know what? It's a long summer when you don't have any football in June and July. And I definitely prefer a summer where you can get into a bubble like this. And Saturday the 15th of June at 8 o'clock, Italy, Albania, sandwiched between loads of games. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. David says, 6 beers in and I've just bought June 2 on Amazon. Sad. Well, I take it you're going to watch that after this, mate. Giving it a go says, Italy have won their last 4 games against Albania. There's very strong connections between Italy and Albania. A lot of Albanians live in Italy. A lot of Albanians play in Italy. So they do have quite strong connections. In fact, somebody was on the chat earlier saying that, you know, they'd normally support Italy, but being Albanian, it's obviously Albania for them tonight. Thanks for the follow, Ramo. Sergio, thanks for the follow as well. And Lucas as well. I don't know what was said in this Southgate interview. What's your opinion on the stadium, says Ryan? Well, this is Dortmund Stadium, isn't it? Which is massively impressive. I've never been there. I would like to go there. I just think it's great to see these stadiums full after the last one where we had COVID restrictions for a lot of the tournament. I don't have a EuroLeague code. We haven't done one. Solski's got a big tub of Ben & Jerry's ready for this. And I see Albania as their own Grealish. So Steve has their own Grealish. Being part Italian, you should be supporting them too. I'm not part Italian. I don't know where this comes from. And congratulations to Spain fans. Great game from Croatia, says Depravko. No 8 o'clock show tonight. God, I can't believe how many people keep asking the same question. I'm not even going to acknowledge it anymore. It's boring. You've been told about the United Stand about 50 times over the last week that there won't be 8 o'clock shows because we're doing the Euros. There'll be 7 o'clock shows, but we didn't do a 7 o'clock show because there was nothing to report. So we will wait and do a morning show, or if something happens later on, we'll go live. But yeah, there was nothing to report, and we were never doing an 8 o'clock show anyway. But thank you for your concern. As always. Hello from Norway, says Frederick. At what point will Norway qualify for an international tournament? Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard, surely at some point they will come. Mr. Bridge, watch the WWE instead, says Oddity. And not reading that one. I haven't seen the Southgate interview, no. Do you think Palmer should start for England, says Joe? I think Palmer has a bit of a obsession club around him at the moment. I was playing my England career mode the other day and people were like, get Palmer on. And I think there's a lot of people just want to see Cole Palmer in an England shirt. And maybe he's going to have a tournament where he is this tournament's Rooney or Gascoigne. But honestly, I don't really think he should be starting for England. I don't see where he would start. Phil Foden's just won Player of the Year. Jude Bellingham's just won the Champions League. Declan Rice has been amazing. Saka's got to play off the right. Kane's got to play off the middle. And then what are you going to do? Put Cole Palmer on the left wing? I don't think that works. So I think Trent will play in the midfield. I think Foden will go to the left. And I think Bellingham will play as a 10. And Palmer's going to have to work his way into the team. In my opinion, that's the way I think it'll work. Upbeat Sarcastic says, no way, Norway, more like no way. Am I right? I just presume that Norway, other than Haaland and Odegaard and maybe a couple of other players, they must just have a crap defence. Because, they've got players that you would expect to qualify. But international football is maybe a little bit better these days. I don't know. Why is the England national anthem so shit, says Goldio. Literally every other anthem is better. Also, am I alone in being bored with the way Spain play football? Isaias, welcome to the members club. Thank you very much. Oscar says, are Austria a dark horse? I hope so. I'd like to see Rangnick doing well. I thought he was treated badly by Man United. I think he's a good coach. Boston says, do you think this is the group of death? Looking at the groups, I think that Group D could be the group of death. Group D, D for death. Poland, Netherlands, Austria, France is quite equal apart from France. Group E, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine is the group of, I haven't got a clue. I mean, look, to be fair, Group D is quite spread out. Group B has got Spain, Italy and Croatia, but Spain have obviously beaten Croatia now. So much depends on how good Albania actually are. I mean, are they good? Did you watch the Rooney documentary? I did, Pilgrims. I would recommend everybody watch it because it's only half an hour about the 2004 World Cup where Rooney sort of burst on the scene. I really enjoyed it. Would you say Garnacho is better than Grealish? That's a poll I'm happy to do. If you're on YouTube, get your vote in. Grealish or Garnacho? Right, we're just getting ready to start the timer here. Albania against Italy. Here we go. In Dortmund. Let's hope VAR does well today. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Very, very excited to see what Albania are all about. And we're up and running. Yamal, same type of player as Foden. Doesn't rely on athleticism, but performs for national team. Says Decode. Thank you very much. And that's the group as it stands at the moment. Oh my God. Oh my God. OMG. OMG. What the hell is going on? Albania 1-0 up in the first minute. What the hell was going on? I can't believe it. It's a throw-in for Italy. DeMarco throws it back. And I tell you what, to be fair, it's just sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. Throw-in goes back. Italy are snoozing. And the forward just smashes it in from a difficult angle. Front post glitch. But I don't think Donnarumma can do anything about it. Because it's sort of like Giggs against Seaman. It's that angle. But he's hit it so hard. And Italy, from their own throw-in, have ended up conceding. Because their centre-backs have both fallen asleep. And that is a dream start for Albania. Another goal already. And the centre-backs for Italy there have got to take a long, hard look at themselves because they both just fell asleep. And within the first minute, Barami has scored the number 10 for Albania. But now it's Italy in the box. Oh, well, it's a good chance as well. Pellegrini. What is it about the defences? I mean, it's great. It's great for us, but the defending is crap. Dear Mark, I love your content. Think I might have an alcohol problem. Want to study, but instead I drink beers, says Erland. And I had to say, hard to say I like Garnacho, but he doesn't pass enough, says Pizza. Thank you very much. Well, look, good finish by Albania, but it's an Italian throw-in that leads to the chance. And then within a few seconds, Italy end up with Pellegrini in the box unmarked. Max says that's the fastest goal in Euros history. What a start. What a start. Italy leading 1-0. Sorry, Albania leading 1-0. Broher there fouling. De Lorenzo, sorry. De Natali doesn't even play anymore. Long time. Stadium's electric. Well, it will be now, Diego. There'll be a lot of Albanian fans here. Atira says, I'm only going for Albania because of Dua Lipa. Italy now. I mean, basically giving Albania a 1-0 start, haven't they? I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game. Albanian fans snapping spaghetti in front of Italian fans ahead of the match is the funniest thing I've seen in a while, says Ojays. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be opportunities for Albania on the break. Junior Film says it's going to be a good game. This ain't Qatar, says Tug. Well, we didn't get many goals, did we, in the group stage in the World Cup? This is going to be a good game. I agree, Messi. Mark, will you do a forfeit if Albania win the Euros, says Goldio? Albania ain't going to win the Euros, mate. We're not going to see another Greece for a very long time. But, I haven't seen a bad game in the Euros so far. I thought Switzerland against Hungary was a good game. I thought Croatia-Spain, there was loads of chances. Obviously, Scotland got smashed. So, I like the tempo in all the games so far. As I said, for me, international football's always been quite slow. But the tempo we've seen so far is really good. Cameron says, I predict the Euros will have the most goals ever. Well, somebody's surely got to know that stat. It always comes out. I think I'm right in saying that in Qatar, we had the record number 0-0s, didn't we? Or draws. I'm sure they broke the record for 0-0s. Which is crazy considering it was only 18 months ago. Lovely ball to the back post here. Lovely first touch as well. And good block. I tell you what, teams are getting into the penalty boxes so regular in this tournament. Scamacca's a player to watch. I know it didn't work out at West Ham, but got a great shot on him. He's a handful. And good defending by Albania there, but they're back in and offside. Goal kick. Peter says we're seeing more attacking, risky football, and I like it. Am I right? Somebody in the chat will know. I'm pretty sure that in the group stage in the last World Cup, it broke the record for the number of 0-0s. Love the videos from Toronto. Will England be good this Euro, says Blair. We've only got 24 hours to wait. I've got me, I don't know whether to wear the away top tomorrow or I've got the home kit as well. Can be a bit bright for the viewer, but I don't care. You are correct, says SWFC. Albania on the attack again with Broha. Gets it wide. And goes out for a corner. DI on TikTok says, do you think that Cole is going to do well in the Euros? Well, he's got to get on the pitch first. Goldio says, were you disappointed with Croatia? I thought they were poor. And I missed the start of the game. How did Albania score, says Ryan? Well, basically, DeMarco had a throw-in for Italy, threw it to his centre-back, who sort of got caught flat-footed, and they ended up, he smashed it into the top of the, Barami smashed it into the top corner. Just sleeping Italy, but he took it well. On Croatia, defensively poor and offensively wasteful is how I would describe it. User says, do you think Donnarumma was at fault for the goal? You shouldn't get done on your front post, but where he hits it, and he hits it so hard, it is a powerful shot into the roof of the net. headed away by Italy. But it sets the game up nicely because with Albania scoring first early on, it stops the game from being tentative and it forces Italy to have to attack. So it opens the game up lovely, really. Do you think the Netherlands will get far? Love the videos and the streams. I'm looking forward to watching the Netherlands tomorrow. I mean, I don't think there's a game I'm not looking forward to, actually, because I was saying to Will this afternoon, if you think about the World Cup, opening game was Ecuador-Qatar, and I don't care how excited you are about your football, you're kidding yourself. You are actually, you're pretending. Whereas when I look at this game tonight, Albania are very interesting, having topped their group, and Italy are the holders. So interesting. Tomorrow afternoon, Poland, Netherlands. Netherlands, some people think they're going to do bad. Some people think they might be a bit of a dark horse. Denmark against Slovenia. Well, it's England's group, and Denmark have got Rasmus and Eriksson. England at 8 o'clock obviously is a big game. 2 o'clock on Monday, Romania, Ukraine. I'm intrigued by Romania. Haven't seen them in a major tournament for years and don't really know who even plays for them. Belgium, Slovakia at 5 o'clock. Belgium still have good players. Could they make an impact on the tournament? Austria, France, 8 o'clock on Monday. I think Austria could be dark horses. Goal, Italy! Back post, Bastoni. 1-1, 2 goals in 10 minutes. This Euros is delivering like Postman Pat. Or should I say, Postman Pat. It's 1-1. And it's a lovely worked goal from Italy. They don't mess about here. It's just textbook training ground routine from a corner. They played a little bit of a short one. Albania haven't picked the guy up quick enough. And on the back post, they've lost their guy. Bastoni, it's straight. It's just perfection. It's absolutely perfection. Italy, back in it. 1-1. Two goals already. Euros is just shitting out goals. Brilliant. Void, welcome to the members club. Crypto says it's rare to see a throw to own goal. The fix is on. Ooh. Yeah, anyway, and then on Tuesday, you've got Portugal's group, and I'm really looking forward to watching Portugal on Tuesday. Shocking defending again. Look, Garnacho's got 65.4% of the vote, and Grealish has got 36, so we'll end that poll there. Said it a few times now, haven't we? From what we've seen from the first 4 games of the Euros so far, the attacking has been very imaginative and fast, and the defending just hasn't been that good so far. But that's good for the consumer. That's good for the viewer. I mean, the only clean sheet has been Spain, and they shouldn't have got a clean sheet, really. Kate says, why do you hate France? That's news to me. Yeah, 1-1 here. 10 minutes gone. Albania took a goal, scored in the first 25 seconds, but Italy have just equalised with Bastoni. A lot of people don't fancy Italy for winning the tournament. But what you do need to learn about Italy is when it comes to international tournaments, they've got an amazing ability to do well. I mean, they've been to a lot of finals. Thanks for the follow, Stephen. Albania is the GOAT, says Yusung. Raynex says, the Qatar World Cup had 7 0-0s in the group stage. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, there's more games in the World Cup, but 7 0-0s is incredible. Why do you think that was? I think... Thank God you're doing this game, Mark, or else I would need to listen to Genus on commentary. Oh, my God. Is that who they've got? Blues enthusiast. I mean, look, fair play to the guy. I don't know how he gets work, but... Any United Stand crew on the watch-alongs? Yes, Kenneth. Check out tomorrow afternoon. We're in the Manchester studio. Winter World Cup made the players too tired, and the heat as well, mid-season as well. I think it was a bit of an overrated World Cup. I mean, it was great that Messi won it, but I did think it was a bit of an overrated World Cup. Is Italy your second favourite team after England in the Euros, says Scarecrow? I mean, I do like Italy, I can't lie, but I've got Switzerland in the sweepstakes, so I want them to do well. I want Austria to do well. I like Portugal, obviously. Denmark. So, look, I wouldn't say, you know, I want England to win it, but as I said on the last stream, I can't remember a tournament where we've had 4 or 5 strong teams going for it. I can't remember the last tournament that happened. Oh, lovely ball. DeMarco. He's a good player, DeMarco, I'm telling you. Keep an eye on him. I'd love it if Germany really hit into gear. If England hit into gear. France were good. Spain were good. Portugal were good. Imagine that, having 4 or 5 really strong teams and then a couple of dark horses. It would make for a great tournament. But normally what happens is you get 1 or 2 decent teams and the rest flop. I can't remember the last tournament where you had like 4 or 5. I mean, I think France 98. Brazil. Brazil, France, obviously. Go! 2-0. What a hit. What a hit. I think it's Barella. Edge of the box. He can stand under my umbrella. It's just goals, 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 goals in this Euros. We've had 3 in the first quarter of an hour. What's going on? What's in the water in Germany? Because we are getting so many things going on. I.e. goals into the back of the net. Italy on the push. Albania with the clearance. And then Barella just smacks it. But, oh, they might look at DeMarco catching the defender. I mean, that'd be very, very harsh. Because it's such a good hit by Barella. DeMarco does catch the Albanian defender, but it's after the ball's been cleared. They are doing a VAR check. It will be harsh to overrule this. Goal given, check over, and I think, again, common sense from VAR. There definitely was connection with DeMarco on the Albanian defender, but the ball had already been cleared. Lovely technique, says Kevin. Three goals in 17 minutes. Loving this tournament. Everybody just wants to attack. Defend. Although, what I'd also say is defending again, not that great. One of them ducks. Followed you on Instagram. Why have you got pictures of you in a City colours? Says Parker. I don't know. I don't know. I think you're on. I think you followed the wrong person. Hessen says Barella or Pedri, Polmark. Is this the Wayne Amarillo? Paulo, Barella, Pedri. Start poll. Barella's underrated, says Alex. I don't know. I think if you speak to Arsenal fans, United fans, Liverpool fans, Barella's a well-known player that most of us would like to be at our club. I just think he's very happy in Italy, isn't he? How old is Barella? I'd say he's about 25 now. 27? How many players in that Italy national squad are from Inter? PSG, Donnarumma, Vicario, Napoli, Vicario, Spurs, Di Lorenzo, Napoli, Inter Milan, DeMarco, Bastoni, Inter Milan, Barella, Inter Milan. Actually, there's not that many. Oh, Fratesi is Inter Milan as well, isn't he? Well, Italy, it's almost like Albania have offended them by scoring early because they're going again and again and again here. Cross comes in. And Albania will break. Does well. That'll be a yellow card, surely. Yeah. Booking for Italy. I think it's Pellegrini who's been booked. Bro has got away from him and he has tripped him up. Yeah, good refereeing there. Spain play Italy on Thursday night, yeah. Great start, though, isn't it? Albania score straight away. Italy got 2 back. 20 minutes gone. 3 goals gone in. Both teams looking to be progressive. Good tempo to the way they're moving the ball around. 16 goals so far, says Nukes. Good game, Mark, says Junior. I was silent for a few seconds there because I was just trying to think about, you know, England without Maguire. Some people think will be defensively weak, but I don't actually see any team at the moment that looks defensively strong. I mean, we've still got plenty of teams left to see. I would expect the Netherlands to be defensively strong with the likes of Van Dijk organising their defence. But whilst the attacking's been good, you've got to acknowledge some of the defending's been bad as well. Phoenix says, don't worry, England will calm this all down with the Dross 0-0 tomorrow. I do think Southgate might go a bit defensive tomorrow. Barella has got 59% of the vote against Pedri at the moment, and Andres is not happy. He says, how the hell is Barella better than Pedri? Well, Italy are just getting into a phase of controlling the game at the moment. Good play by Barella again there. And that's a bad ball by Jorginho. Roger says, I don't think England are going to get past the quarterfinals. But the thing is, it's a bit like the Champions League, isn't it? If you get like Italy, Germany, France, Portugal, maybe Spain, Netherlands, England, that's 7 teams. They're going to hit each other in the quarterfinals, aren't they? And that's what I'm talking about. If we get a strong tournament, there's no guarantee of semi-finals minimum anyway. I think in the World Cup, England underachieved in the quarterfinals. But Albania at the moment are a little bit shell-shocked, I think. Do you think the 2006 Italian team could win the Euros considering the changes to the way they play in the modern games, as Keith? I think 2006 is 20 years ago, mate, and I think football's changed so much in the last 10 years, so I think they'd struggle in the modern game. Exclusive Gem says Portugal to win the Euros. Well, we won't see Portugal till Tuesday night. The last game, actually, I think, Portugal, of the first round of group games. But I'm interested to see Portugal because in the World Cup, Ronaldo was dropped, wasn't he? Now he's back in the team. Fine 4K says DeMarco has been the best player on the pitch so far. I did say, didn't I, this afternoon, keep an eye out for him. I mean, he won't be the most glamorous player in the Italian team, but I think he's one of the most effective. Who's going to win the Euros without being biased, says Nerf? We'll get your comments in there. I think it's hard to say who's going to win the Euros without having seen everybody. So, look, I think England have to win the Euros. I don't think it's about will they win the Euros. I think they have to win the Euros. I think the collection of players that they've got should be a challenge to anybody. But I wouldn't say with any strong conviction that, oh yeah, England are going to blow everyone away. I think they've got some very, very good players. I worry about the coach, as you know. But I don't think there's any standout team. France will obviously get a lot of hype, but I didn't even think France were that good against us in the World Cup. Think any big team will get grouped, Mark? Well, because of how many teams get... Because like 4 of the 6 teams that finish third will go through, you've got to really flop to get grouped as a big team. Ghost says that Yamal is overhyped. I think it's hard to be overhyped when you're 16 playing for Spain in a major tournament. AL7 says, I worry that England's tempo is too slow. Well, from what we've seen so far, you know, Switzerland in that first half against Hungary moved the ball so quickly and so well through the passing lanes. I mean, even Italy have moved the ball really quickly tonight. Croatia and Spain did it at times. I think you're right. I think England potentially have got to get that tempo up and running. I mean, Italy are moving the ball around fantastically well here at the moment. Tell you who I've quite liked the look of. Number 5 for Italy, Calafiori. I think he plays for Bologna. He's got an air of Nesta around him with the long hair. Obviously, he's not as good, but they're after that early setback, they've showed character to really get hold of the game. Thanks for the follow, Y. And Vuj. Albania are not doing anything here at the moment. They're living up to the... They're not living up to the dark horse. They won't be whipping boys of the tournament yet. Oh, Nesta was a fantastic player, Kevin, yeah. Saw that interview with him and Sven. I mean, Sven's going to die soon, isn't he, unfortunately? And he was, like, crying, Nesta, like, having this interview with Sven. I think they must have been together at Lazio. Crud says, England, Portugal in the finals. Oh, I'll take that. I mean, I tell you what, 65% possession for Italy. It feels like it's a hell of a lot more at the moment. Good play by Chiesa. Whips across to the back post. Acrobatic try, but clearance. DeMarco again wins the throw-in. How about Chiesa or Leao, says Hessen. I feel that's close. I'll do that one for you next. Any chance you'll do the UFC 304 watch along? It will be on July the 28th in Manchester and the card is full of British fighters, says Sven. We'll see, mate. It's a couple of months away yet. I'd like to see Albania get hold of the ball a little bit here. I think, you know, all right, you got your first, you got a goal early, and I understand the fact that you might have got a little bit excited, but it's 2-1. You'd have expected Italy to be favourites. What's your game plan? That UFC thing is a 3 a.m. card in Manchester. It's always weird, I think, when that sort of happens. Peter says that Albania only play counter-attacking football. I think you're right. I think they are very strong defensively, and to be honest, if that's their game plan, it's not the best watch in the world, is it? But they've got to be careful here. We've seen in this tournament already, haven't we? You know, 3-0 Croatia. Spain beat them. Germany put 5 past Scotland. Switzerland put 3 past Hungary. I suppose you can be counter-attacking a little bit when you're 2-1 down, but if it goes 3-1 down, you're in trouble. That's a lovely ball. It could be 3. Oh, he's at the post. Little dinky chip over the keeper. He hits the post. Should have been 3. Fratesi. Interesting from Uni says, why are Man United not in for Calafiori? Can play left back and left centre back. He's looked good in this game, I must admit. If you had to remove one rule and add one rule into football, what would it be, says Jeet. This is lovely play by Italy. And Fratesi does really well dinking it over the keeper. But actually, the keeper saves it onto the post. The chip's going in. Good save by the keeper. Oh, Chiesa's down injured here. This is not what Italy want to see. Lovely goal. Look at the technique by Barella on that second goal. Yeah, I'm with Solid Blake. I think that was a good save by the keeper to put it onto the post. If I had to remove one rule from football and add one rule in, what would it be? What rule don't I like in football? Oh, God, there's got to be so many. I think I'd move the... I think I'd have to do something about handball. You know, natural arm position I think needs to be got rid of. I think it's just bollocks. If it hits somebody on the hand, penalty. I don't like the natural hand position. I understand the, you know, the distance thing. I'd keep that. But the natural hand position I think is so subjectively bollocks. Booking people when they take their shirts off. Yeah. What rule would I bring in? I mean, like this, look, there's probably loads of rules I'd bring into football, but I quite like the time wasting one, where basically there's just a timer, and if you don't get your goal kick or throw in done in 10 seconds, you get booked. I love this. I love this explanation. I've got to say. You can't do that with handball because then everyone will just aim at people's hands. Well, like they can't do it anyway. I think you overestimate how good footballers are, that they can aim for people's hands. I find this hilarious. I find this absolutely hilarious because every time I say this, somebody will say it. So for me, the handball rule should only not be a handball if it's distance related. So if somebody shoots and it hits you from 2 meters away, you can't really do anything about it. So I wouldn't give a handball. But the natural arm position thing, I think, is nonsense because what's a natural arm position? It's so subjective. But then you get people going, well, they could just aim for their hands. Well, how are they going to aim for their hands when I've said distance is a factor? And also, footballers can't aim at people's hands. They're not that good. Does your mum gel your hair before you stream, says ML. I don't live with my mum. Mark, the goalie is Thomas Strakoshka from Brentford, who can't even get in their team. I know. I said it at the start, Moz. Thanks for the follow, Miles D. 36 minutes gone. Well, 37 now. Italy 2-0 up. But a lot of people enjoying the number 5 for Italy. Down that left-hand side, they've looked really good with DiMarco and Calafiori, who obviously is a Bologna player. Not obviously, you might not have known. Just got accepted to an Italian university. Let's go Italy. I'm from Argentina, says Erland. Well done, pal. Enjoy. What do you think of Brohurst, says Daniel? I think his reputation precedes him. I think he's okay, but quite how Chelsea think they can get £50 million for him is incredible. Where are the Italian fans? Well, there's a lot of Albanian fans here. It might just be that side of the pitch, though. Italy dominating, says Dr. Crimson. Some of their football's been really good. Nice little flick there. DiMarco with the cross. Oh, what a cross as well. I've got to say, for all this writing everybody off, Spain were very good in the final third. Italy had been very good in the final third, and Germany had been very good in the final third. Now, it might be based on their opposition. Obviously, Scotland, probably didn't play that well. Albania, some people wouldn't really respect, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from. It's the speed of the attacks that are really good. The little, passing through the lines, the little layoffs. It's just more. There's definitely international football for me for years has always been very pragmatic. Oh, it could be 3. Great save. Their keeper's having a great game. Skamaka there from the angle. But Albania's keeper's having a good game. I mean, we're being really spoilt here. Italy going from Bonucci and Chiellini to Bastoni and Calafiore is not bad at all. Mate, Blues enthusiast. There's something about Italy. It's been going on for years. Years and years and years. Right back to the days of Costa Curta and Baresi, Maldini and Nesta. It's what they do. It's what Italy do. Quality centre-back partnerships. I really like Calafiore. I'm surprised he's not playing for with all due respect to Bologna, who I think might be in the Champions League next year. I knew DeMarco was a good player, but I've not really seen a lot of Calafiore, and been very impressed with him so far. He's only 22. You can't be buying players based on the Euros, obviously not, but it is nice to see some players. Apparently Juventus would like to sign him. Yakov says, I wish there was an option to only hear the crowd. These commentators won't shut up and they're boring, but I love to hear the crowd, says Yakov. Well, the problem you'll have if you're watching UK punditry is that they don't even watch every Premier League team, so they won't have a bloody clue about most of these players. And I'm not saying that I know all. I mean, I don't know much about Albania at all. I do know quite a bit about the Italian team, but there ain't no way that some of them lot have got any clue about these players, really. Hi, Mark. Who do you think should manage England? It's a nice. I tell you what, it's a nice back five for Italy, isn't it? Calafiore, Bastoni, Di Lorenzo, DeMarco, and then Jorginho just in front of it, with Barella box to box, Pellegrini as the 10, Chiesa to the right, Scamacca is the big guy. It's not, look. People might be writing Italy off, and maybe they won't do very well. But as an actual team, the balance is pretty good. Gott says it's already a better tournament than 2022 World Cup. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what the status of the Copa America is to the South American fan base, but the Euros has always had a real buzz about it, even though it's not the World Cup. And the World Cup obviously has more status. But really, what do you think about Donnarumma being picked instead of Vicario after his amazing breakout season at Spurs? I've got him in my Euros fantasy team, says Evan. Wow, it was always going to be Donnarumma. Always going to be Donnarumma. Apparently there's only 10,000 Italy fans in the stadium, says Ryan. I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult, isn't it? I always was saying earlier on the stream, I used to get quite stressed when I was younger, looking at the stadium and going, it's not full. Where are all the fans? But why would not many Italy fans travel to the tournament? I don't know. Do they traditionally travel? Shot by Albania over the bar. I mean, you can see why Albanian fans will travel, because it's like a first tournament for them. Look at all the Scots travelling. But Jason Marsh says, I think DeMarco would be a cracking signing for Man United. We would no chance. They'd want bloody good money for him. Nessendoma. DeMarco is 26 and his contract with Inter runs till 2027. You got no chance. That's what you got. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Give us a follow if you're on TikTok as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're doing every game as a watch-along on That's Football. England tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'll be there. Spalletti's a good coach for Italy. I mean, Mancini won the Euros, didn't he? And then went and managed in Saudi. Not about the money, though. It's not about the money. DPQ says, are you doing EFL? If so, which team? What's that? I don't know what that is. Juve have personal terms with Calafiori. Wants to play former coach Motta. It is Bologna we have to deal with. Also getting Douglas Luiz. Two very good signings, Abdul. I've been watching football for many years, and it's very, very rare for Italian players to leave Italy. Lovely play here. Lovely play by Italy. Nice ball wide out to Chiesa. Cross comes in. Scamacca! And then back post Barella. No, Pellegrini. Again, every attack seems to lead to a chance. Pellegrini just couldn't get his head on it. Fratesi was part of the build-up as well. Who I'd forgotten to mention before. Another Inter Milan player. You know what? I know it's Albania and we'll see how it goes in game 2, but I've been quite impressed with Italy. Why would anyone think England will win a tournament they've choked the last 30 years? Is Constantine. Very un-Italian, I think, Italy, from what I've seen so far. Traditionally, Italy, well organised, pragmatic, take the chances, don't create that much. But the thing is, you know, sometimes you've got to look at the manager. And Spalletti, of course, left Napoli last year when they won the league. And that Napoli side, well, we saw what that Napoli side did. Battered Liverpool, didn't they? Won Serie A. You know, the way that Napoli side played wasn't boring. So maybe a few people have slept on Italy, but the thing is, we had it. I think the reason people wrote Italy off is because half time, not because of half time. I think people wrote Italy off because of England, because we beat them twice, didn't we? But I think they've been quite good. Of course, how bad are Albania is the point. But then again, Albania topped their group with Czech Republic and Poland in it. Very impressed with the... I see that studio for the BBC looks great. That's it. Get rid of the green screen shit. Much better now. I think they must be listening to this stream, because they've got rid of the green screen crap. That looks amazing now for the BBC. Lot better. Get rid of all that green screen shit. As a West Ham fan, I'm annoyed Moyes couldn't make Scamacca work. Could have had a front four of Scamacca, Bowen, Kudos and Paqueta. The best outside the top four. I really like Scamacca. Where did West Ham buy him from? I know he's at Atalanta now. Was he at Atalanta before then? I don't think he was. But for a brief time, he was linked to Manchester United and he went to West Ham, and I thought he was going to be a really, really good signing for them. And obviously it didn't pan out that well, but then he's gone back to Italy and been very, very good. I mean, he's only 25 himself now. He was at West Ham, bought him from Sassuolo. I can never pronounce that very, very well, but he's now at Atalanta, 12 goals in 29 games. Didn't work out at Italy. Some do blame Moyes, but he's done well. Monk C says, given the amount of money in football, viewers should get those custom camera angles from the sidelines and behind the goals. Interesting points there. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for that. Lovely stuff. Thanks for all the follows. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. 2-1 to Italy at half-time. Barella and Bastoni with the goals. I mean, Albania scored literally in the first 25 seconds. It was a mistake. But Italy have responded really, really well. And, I mean, look, statistically, if I can get the stats up on the screen as well, which I will. Where are you? Where are you? There we go. 72% possession for Italy. 13 shots, 4 on target. Albania, pitiful, 28%. Only 1 shot on target, which was the goal. They're losing 2-1. You've got to do more than that. Your next game is Croatia. If you lose that, you're going home, because your last game's Spain. So more needed from Albania, who just don't seem to have much of a response at the moment. Barella against Pedri, 58% to 42% in the case of Barella. Maybe it's game-specific bias there. Who else? Rub says he's struggling with the chat on YouTube. Doesn't let you type anything. Well, there's plenty of people typing. For your attention, 970 Sky, you can watch with radio commentary, says Donny Bravo. Thank you very much. JH96 says, I'm from Albania and I'm crying. Manuel says, Albania is still in the game and doing better than Scotland. In fairness to Albania, though, they are very much a well-organised defensive side who does counter. And, you know, they're not just going to open up wide open, are they? I'm massively intrigued by this BBC studio. I mean, they must be a bit cold there. I don't think the weather in Germany is that good. They've all got a coat on. Probably all going to go inside in a minute. Really, really, though, very impressed with the Euros as a tournament so far. I know it's only day 2, but really getting vibes of the 2006 World Cup with that arch. And hopefully the weather's going to be good in Germany as well. Goals galore. Lovely to see. And, you know, that's what we want to see. I know we all love football, and I know we all, like, pretend that that's not important, but I think goals are key. Well, I tell you what, the weather in Germany is fantastic. 23 degrees tomorrow, 24 degrees on Monday, 26 degrees on Tuesday. We got the good weather at the right time. That's what we want to see. Always nice to have a tournament with good weather. 23, 25, 27, 23, 26. Bloody hell. Germany's the place to be. Doesn't drop below 26 degrees until Friday the 28th. Bit of rain, but I mean, it's much, much better than where I live, where if we get, I'll tell you what, if we get 26 degrees in the next few days, I'll laugh my head off. No. It's crap. Yeah, could be a great proper stadium and fans as well. Could be a really good tournament. I mean, look, you know, we're only a day in, but I'm loving the fact that the speed of the game is good. Albania keeper needs a shout out. That was a great save from Fratesi when he got dinked over him, and a good save from Scamacca as well. But look at the build-up play from Italy. Pellegrini nods it down. Good touch by Scamacca. Goes low. Keeper closes his legs really well. And he's the backup goalkeeper doing that. But here's Pellegrini's chance as well with the header. Oh, I mean, Italy could have had another two. Let's not mess about. They could have had another two. Robster says, I'm a bit sad how the transfer news is going to slow down now. Well, look, I think in relation to, I was going to do a 7 o'clock show on the United Stand tonight, but honestly, very rare I would say this, but there was nothing new from the morning show. It was literally nothing. It can be, and traditionally is like that in a major tournament, especially the first week of a major tournament, because so many people are working on the Euros and there are so many games. So it doesn't mean Man United can't do something. It doesn't mean Arsenal can't do something, but I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's stereotypical or not, but certainly the first week of a tournament, everything just seems to become very centric around that. So, look, hopefully it will change a bit. Can you say bottle of water, says Ben. I don't know what that means. As players well throughout the tournament, clubs will put them on the radar and the transfers will heat up, says Pizza. Albania's atmosphere is crazy. Why have Italy only got 10,000 fans in the ground when Germany and Italy is not far apart? Do Italians not like to travel and support their team that much? I mean, look, you'll get loads of England fans there. We love it. But that's pretty much... I don't think that stadium does look full, but it is at half time. But there's a lot of Albanians there. Really, really is. A lot of Albanians live in Germany as well, says Manuel. Look, some like Brazilians in Qatar, there was bloody loads of them, wasn't there? I don't suit a hoodie. Look right, twat. I like wearing hoodies, but I don't look any good with the hood up. There isn't a big away culture in Italy, says Alex. There you go. That's the sort of comment we're looking for. Big Almadian community in Germany. Who do you think Southgate's getting the sack after the year? I don't think Southgate will get sacked at all. I think they bloody love Southgate in the FA. I think it's whether Southgate wants to move on or not. Look, I think in relation to England tomorrow, the tournament has been so exciting thus far that I would hope that we get a lot of goals in the England game. Having said that, it is also England with Gareth Southgate, and just because everyone else in the Euros is playing, you know, quite quick, intense, progressive football, doesn't mean that we will. Serbia will be an interesting game for us. There's no two ways about that, and we must therefore be careful about how we approach the game. I hope tomorrow that Netherlands game against Poland and Denmark against Slovenia doesn't throw up loads of goals and then we throw up a 0-0. I'm sure at some point there's going to be a 0-0 in the group stage. I just hope it doesn't come from Manchester United. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping to see an England performance that, you know, sends a bit of a statement, because momentum's very important in tournaments. And we want to sort of send a message out there. But it is Gareth Southgate, and I did say before the tournament that just because we are fancy to do well in the tournament doesn't mean that we're going to go out there and start playing great football. I think under Gareth Southgate, we're probably not going to do it because we haven't got those types of players. So I hope we do, but I'm long in the tooth enough to know that England can be a little bit dull when it comes to how we play. So we'll see. We'll see. Jay says, I know we're not on United stand, but I just have to say, never been so optimistic about our up-and-coming season. I genuinely see United getting top 3. Oh, great, mate. Very happy about that. Yeah. And great to see so many people supporting Albania. Let's hope you can be a little bit more progressive in the second half. Obviously, the goal was very exciting, but it's been a little bit... They've struggled. They've struggled against a good Italian side, haven't they, since then? Watkins could really help with the counter. Well, I think it'd be interesting with Serbia tomorrow, just how good they're going to be. I mean, they have got some good players, but they remind me a little bit of Croatia in the sense that some of those players are getting on a little bit. But on the other hand, players like Vlahovic are very handy. But we've got Serbia and then Denmark, who are the two toughest teams in the group. And if we're going to do anything in this tournament, we've got to hit the ground running. And we need to take... I'd say we need to take 4 points from Denmark and Serbia. Yes, we probably beat Slovenia, but you don't want to put yourself in a position where you've got to beat Slovenia. I think we will beat them, but, you know, I think we need to get off to a good start. Please give us a follow if you're on TikTok, and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner on YouTube. You're very welcome. Every single game of the Watchalong will be... every single game of the Euros will be covered on That's Football. Tomorrow, we kick off again at 1:30 with the Netherlands against Poland. Very excited to watch the Netherlands, actually. See what they're all about. Then on to the 5 o'clock game is England's group, but it's Denmark, Slovenia, Rasmus. And then we've got the big one tomorrow night. England against Serbia. 8 o'clock kickoff. And very excited to see what that's all about. It's coming home. I mean, look, I was very confident about it coming home before the game, before this tournament. But I've got to say, I think Germany looked very, very good against Scotland. And I'm looking forward to see what they do against Hungary on Wednesday. I thought Spain looked good today. And I think Italy have looked good today. And I'm looking forward to them playing against each other on Thursday. Yeah. What are your thoughts on DeMarco joining Man United? Well, there's absolutely no mention of DeMarco coming to Manchester United for a start. And also, I don't think he'd be in our price range. But very, very impressed with Italy. As I said, one of the great things about watching tournament football over the years is that when I was a kid... in the 60s, I'm joking. When I was a kid, like when I remember watching Italia 90, and I was just enthralled by this international game that I'd only ever really watched. I mean, we didn't even have Sky TV. I'm not Rishi Sunak, but what I mean is we didn't have Sky TV. It didn't exist when I was started watching football in the late 80s. So what you had was, and I was from a sort of working class background really, was... you had terrestrial TV, which was Match of the Day on a Saturday night, and teletext. You know, you could barely watch Division 1, let alone Division 2 or the Bundesliga or anything like that. So when England played a friendly or a tournament qualifier, you would watch it, and these Polish players, or Brazil if it was a friendly, would be so exotic because you wouldn't know anything about them, and they didn't play in Division 1. So when Italia 90 rolled up and people are saying Germany are good, it wasn't based on the fact that anybody knew any of the players, because you just didn't know them. You'd see someone like Mateus and you go, he's good, but you didn't know anything about him because you just didn't. You couldn't watch every bloody Division 1 game because we didn't have access to it, so you certainly didn't get to watch Bayern Munich. Obviously, that's changed over the years, but even now, you know, we will know a lot more players than we ever did then, but it's still very interesting when you're watching a game like this, and I can't say that I've watched a lot of Bologna, so seeing someone like Calafiori looks really, really good. Obviously, I've seen more of Inter Milan, and I knew about DiMarco coming into this, and obviously everybody knows Barella, but and Bastoni, but DiMarco was a player I sort of said, look, watch out for him in the tournament. I really like him. Seen a lot of him for Inter. And that's the thing for me. It's not about buying these players. It's more about learning about new players that are, you know, Calafiori when he goes to Juventus, which I'm sure he will do, and starts playing in Champions League games against your team, you'll know who he is, because that's what it's all about. Watching these tournaments and learning about new players. I don't think it's necessarily about scouting players. I never think that's a good idea, but learning about players is what it's all about, isn't it? But this is, again, Fratesi down the right-hand side. I think it's quite interesting as well, what I've noticed with Italy, and I don't know whether anyone else has noticed this, but the way they play is sort of lopsided right-hand side and different. It's almost like DiMarco is the left-sided winger with Calafiori moving across and Di Lorenzo moving across. And then Chiesa and Fratesi are almost taking it in turns to be like the right wing back, because Fratesi, it's very, what's the word? Fratesi's definitely playing off the right, and so is Chiesa. But there isn't really a left-hand side play. And obviously Scamacca's the front. So basically what I'm trying to say is you've got, hold on, Scamacca just had a shot. So you got your back four with Di Lorenzo and DiMarco as the fullbacks. Then you've got Jorginho as the holder, Barella as the box-to-box, Pellegrini as the 10, Scamacca as the striker, but then Fratesi and Chiesa are more on the right-hand side. Which means that DiMarco has to provide the wing on the left. It's quite an intelligent and adaptive system that they're playing. Any team you wouldn't want to face in the finals, says KS. No, I don't give a shit. You know, the more good teams in the tournament, the better, I think. Italy are 1 goal up and you're impressed. Well, yeah, because I've watched the game, mate, Pete, and they should be 4 or 4. I think they should be 4 up. Italy easily could have had another 2. The Albanian keeper's had a worldie, as far as I'm concerned. Any confident advice for 5'7" guys, Sven? Just speak to Messi, mate. Hull says the big story of the day is I'm still in shock on how few films Will has seen. Mate, I can't believe it. If you didn't see the stream between Spain and Croatia, Will, somebody I've called a friend, and my co-host on the podcast, it was a shock. Absolute shock. I mean, the amount of films he hasn't seen, it's just not normal. Jaws, Godfather, Gladiator, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It's just not good enough. Smoke says he hasn't seen a single good movie. Well, I've seen Toy Story, hasn't he? Do you reckon any big signings will happen after the tournament, like Grealish to City after the last Euros? I think we'll see some happening through it, Blues. Yeah. Right, just going to get myself another drink. Maddie, stop sucking your fingers. What have I missed? What have I missed? He's booked Calafiori. You're joking. What for? Nice little ball. How's he got booked for that? How's he booked in for that? Are you going to do any watch-alongs with Ricky? Says Goldio. Watch this space. Athy hasn't seen Pulp Fiction. Mate, it's such a good film. Oh, he's booked Broher as well. Don't know why. So, free kick for Albania. Decent position. They've got to do something with this. Thanks for the follow, Abdi. Got to get this right on the keeper and follow in. Bounce it up in front of him and follow in. Come on. Oh, I tell you what, I thought for a minute he was going to do it, but the wall does its job. Someone's caught it in the face, though. Man down. Bastoni. Oh, yeah, I've just seen what you mean about Calafiori. There wasn't really that much in it between Calafiori and Broher, really, was there? Oh, Bastoni's headed it right on the top of his head. Thanks for the follow, P1 and Abdul on TikTok, legend. Luke Shaw's fit for tomorrow. Do you think he will start? Says Goldio. Wow. You don't want to risk it, do you? Ace, Drenny and Darian, thank you very much for giving us a follow. We're not in the first half, Sue. No, it's second half. 8 minutes. Oh, got the wrong timer on. Twat. That's my fault. We have got a second half timer. I'm just an idiot. We're 53 minutes in. I'll get that right. There we go. Paul is having a glass of white wine and some Pringles. Not a big fan of white wine. I like reds. I would never really drink rosé, but it is quite sweet. White wine, never been a big fan. I like Pringles. They're just massively Moorish. Linda loves red wine. I do. I think red wine's difficult to drink in the summer, though, Linda. It's not really a... I find it very difficult to drink red wine in the summer. September to April, no problem. Arsenal fan B, thanks for the follow. Chupid says, shout out from Trinidad. Goldio says, 2 questions. Would you personally start Mainu, and do you think Southgate will start him? I'm baffled by Trent in the midfield. I wouldn't start Mainu because I'd play Bellingham and Rice with Foden as the 10. But Southgate won't do that, and he still won't pick Bellingham. I think the Trent midfield thing is weird. I really do. Liverpool have never done it, really. And Southgate seems to have decided that he's a hipster and put Trent in as a midfielder, which I just don't really get. There's no doubt that Trent can do the role, but he's probably the best attacking right back in the world, and we play him as a holding midfielder. And yet we've got loads of specialist midfielders, so I don't really get... I'm not saying Trent can't play the role, I just don't really understand why he does it. Will we ever get a shit along, Mark, says Hessen. Amazing comment, here we go! Fratesi, good save by the keeper again. There was an offside in the build-up. Wheel says, what's your favourite Star Wars film from each of the 3 trilogies? Well, the latter trilogy, I barely observe it, but I suppose Force Awakens. The prequel trilogy, it's got to easily be Revenge of the Sith. And the original trilogy, Empire Strikes Back. Goldio says, Foden, Bellingham and Rice leaves us exposed, surely. Well, no. Declan Rice is one of the best holding midfielders in Europe. Foden's one of the best number 10s in Europe. And Bellingham can easily play as a number 8. We don't need to play with 2 holding midfielders. You've been Southgated, haven't you? Look at Barella. Box to box. Jorginho sits. Pellegrini 10. Pizza says, did I miss the new polar bear story? It was last night, yes. Basically, they eat their own young for food, and their hunting success rate is 2%, which basically makes them about as effective as Nico Jackson. Paula hates red wine. (2-1) to Italy at the moment against Albania. D. Curran says, if you play 1-6, you need to play 2-8s. And yet, Italy aren't doing it. You don't. Your biggest problem there, mate, is that you've tried to make football insular and closed off, and that's not how football is. You can play a 6, an 8, and a 10. In fact, I think that's the best balance. Goldio says Rice has a mistake in him and our defence is iffy. This is the problem. This is why Southgate has fans, because there's people like Goldio who actually quite think we should play with 2 holding 6s and one 10. We're England, and we should be playing more on the front foot. But we probably won't because of who the manager is. Smoked says, Spalletti doesn't get talked about enough. Well, it's probably one of the better Italian teams I've seen in 30 years so far. And I know they're only playing Albania, but we don't know how good Albania is. But it's definitely not normal for Italy to be moving the ball around so quickly and looking to create chances so frequently. They're normally a much deeper, pragmatic side. The Spain game's going to be very interesting, actually. Oh, could have been a penalty there. Scamacca. Chiesa. Oh, good shot. Made the keeper dive. Scamacca could have gone down there. Italy's pressing's been very good as well, says Kevin Carter. Big Rabbit says Serbia will win. Well, you've got absolutely no idea whether Serbia or England will win at all, are you? You're just trying to predict something that you've got no control or idea about. But what I will say is that it's, you know, Serbia potentially is not a straightforward game. Neither's Denmark. Jem says you can pre-order Goldbridge's book. I'm going to pin that for us there. Gems, thank you. Links there if you want to do that. Coming out on August the 1st. I agree. We need to attack. My personal concern is the lack of an experienced centre-back partner for Stones. Surely that needs more cover in some games, says Goldio. I think people are acting like because Harry Maguire's out, we've got to, bring Tony Adams out of retirement. I mean, Guehi plays for Crystal Palace. Konza plays for Aston Villa. Dunk plays for Brighton. Like, they're not... Their biggest issue is inexperience. They're going to get experience. I wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't. Just because Maguire's not fit wouldn't make me go more defensive. If anything, with Maguire not being fit, it makes you have the ability to press higher up the pitch because we haven't, we know that Maguire likes to play a little bit deeper and is vulnerable to pace. I mean, for me, I personally think Branthwaite's the perfect replacement for Maguire, but he's not even in the squad as a left footer. I mean, are any of England's centre-backs left-footed? I know Maguire plays with Stones, but he's right-footed. I mean, not taking Branthwaite looks even more stupid now Maguire's injured, but it is what it is. Tom says, what team would you support if Man United didn't exist? I can't answer that, mate, because I don't agree with having an affection to any other club other than the team that you support. So you're asking me a hypothetical that I can give you no emotional attachment to. I mean, what I would have said probably Everton, but the way they've treated me this year, they can do one. Oh, bad pass out by Albania. He's got to switch it. This is going to lead to a chat. Oh, good interception from Fratesi. Chiesa. Pellegrini. Albania need to be careful because the game rhythm hasn't changed in the second half. It's still Italy, isn't it? 70% possession. I need to get the stats carousel rolling around for you here so you can see the teams. Fuge says, we are good at heading. Serbia, so Maguire would be good. Yeah, we're going to miss Harry Maguire for his experience and certainly his set pieces. But I mean, look at the Netherlands. No Frankie de Jong. Look at Italy. No Tonali. No Locatelli. I think they're missing a couple of other players as well. Here's Chiesa, edge of the box. Done well there, over the bar. Hessen says, start, bench, sell, Euros, Premier League, Champions League, based on enjoyment. Look, I love the Euros. I love the World Cup, but I've got no interest in the Euros when it's March or April or May. When I was in London a couple of weeks ago, Champions League was great. I love, Premier League, Champions League. I'll sell the Euros. I see international football as a hindrance for most of the year. I can't stand international breaks. They bore the shit out of me. But when the Euros or the World Cup come along, it's a bubble. And I like to get into that bubble. But I prefer domestic football. Yeah. If I had to choose, it would be domestic football every time. Take, or leave it. Who was that? Mel and Kim? Sam says, I think this has been the most enjoyable game of the Euros so far. I thought Switzerland first half really good today. Spain, Croatia, I thought was more than, I think it was quite equal. But I don't know whether this is because it's been defence against attack. Albania are definitely a defensive counter-attacking team. And Italy have just been probing constantly. So it's been attack against defence, which has been quite, good to watch. I think Spain, Italy, if Italy win this game, which at the moment they look like they will, I think Spain, Italy on Thursday looks like being a cracker, really. You can't learn a hell of a lot from the first game because Germans will be going really pleased with the Scotland game, but how bad is Scotland? Same with Spain. They'll be going really, really pleased with that, but were Croatia just a bad day? And if Italy win this, it will be like, again with Albania. So second game, Italy, Spain, if they both won, really intriguing game on Thursday. I think it's on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Thursday, Spain, Italy. Chai. That's a good day on Thursday, actually. Denmark, England at 5. Spain, Italy at 8. All the 8 o'clock games are good, actually. Some crackers. Thoughts on Northern Ireland as a country, says Scott. I've only been there once. And I did like it. It was a cracking wedding. Oh no, I've been twice. Yeah. The thing I always find about international football really funny, though, is that in preparing for the Euros, I've read quite a lot and I've listened to quite a lot from people in the know. And what I've read a lot is that Italy and Germany aren't really coming into this tournament as anywhere near favourites, which is fine based on form, but what is form in international football? Like, international football, you play together September, October, November and March. What is form when you're only playing together for 2 weeks, 4 times a year? And then you have a tournament where you have 2 weeks before the tournament and then 3 or 4 weeks together. I think you can... What I'm trying to say is that how many tournaments have we had where a team isn't really fancied but then does well? I don't think form really means anything in international football. I agree. I agree. I think your form should be judged on the group stage. 3 games in just over a week. I think international football is a bit like the Olympics. It's not about how you do in your races and your meets before that. It's about building for an optimal performance for that, isn't it? And Italy are very good at that. Jack says, what she prefer? Oh, corner for Albania. Donnarumma header. Oh, wide. What's your preferred England lineup, says Jack. Mine's Kane, Gordon, Saka, Bellingham, Mainu, Rice, Shaw, Stones, Konza, Walker, Pickford. Love the way you confused me and went back to front, but I still established it. And you've dropped Phil Foden though, Jack. You can't drop Foden. I do agree with Kane, Gordon, Saka, but I think you've got to put Phil Foden at the 10, which means you've got to put Bellingham next to Rice. Don't really care about Konza or Guehi. Don't have a problem with that. But you've got to pick Phil Foden for me. When can Tonali play for Newcastle? Is it next season or is it a little bit longer than that? Like, is he back in November or is he back in August? Noah says, are England going to win the match on TikTok? Well, Noah's on TikTok. England aren't playing on TikTok. He's back in October. says Harry. But Joe Rowe says he's back for the third game. Look, pardon the pun, but he'll be like a new signing for Newcastle. Good. Tonali's a good player. I just think AC Milan got rid of him because, I mean, I'd love... Look, football's really interesting. There's little stories, but how did Newcastle not know? How did Newcastle not know that was coming? And I've never really heard about how that happened and why Newcastle didn't know. Because they paid a lot of money for him as well, didn't they? Didn't they play like 50 million? Gordon's overhyped, another player with no experience. I like Gordon Goldio. I think he's had an amazing season in the Prem. And good play by Bastoni there. 60 million, says Matthew McFadden. Well, people say it's a Dan Ashworth blunder, but it just... On the one hand, there must have been rumours that it was going to happen. And on the other hand, maybe the investigation was kept secret. But Milan pulled a blinder. Because if they hadn't sold him that summer, he would have been banned for a year and you haven't got £70 million in your pocket. I'm with Red House. Milan must have known. But he will be like a new signing for them. Goldio says, are you going to do a watch-along for election results? Yeah, I'll do it for you right now. 10 o'clock. Pedometer says Labour have smashed the Tories. That's it. End of stream. It won't be an interesting election at all. Mitchell says the Albanian reporters have been amazing. Milan may have hidden it to have him sold, says Juan. Yeah, but Newcastle should surely have a legal case then. Raphael says, do you like Yamal? Look, I don't care whether he plays for Spain, England or Albania. I'm looking forward to watching the Turkish lad as well, who plays for Real Madrid. You know, I think it's always exciting when you've got somebody of such a young age playing in a major tournament. And I thought he did well today. Could have had a goal. Lovely cross for the assist. Why don't you say who you vote for, says Ewan? Because I'm not Gary Neville. Like Gary, my growth is based around football. It's not based around me subjecting you to my politics. And I think politics is probably one of the few private things left in society. And I don't judge people on who they vote, and they shouldn't judge me on what I vote. And I don't even know if I'm going to vote, actually. I haven't. There's been previous elections where I have, and there's been previous where they haven't. And I've got to be honest, without revealing anything, because I don't know, there has been elections where I've gone, I'm voting for that party, and there's been... But what I will say is, I've voted for 3 different parties in the last 20 years. I know people who are staunch, I'll only vote Labour. You know, it doesn't matter what they think, they'll always vote the same. All their life, they'll vote Labour or whatever. For me, I will vote what I think is the right thing to vote, but I've got to be honest, I've got no interest in this election, and I don't necessarily think I'm going to vote. Which is really bad, because when you've got the power to vote, I think you should vote. But I really don't think that, at least the last election, what Corbyn represented for Labour was very different to what Johnson was representing for the Tories, and you had a clear choice. I don't feel that this election I don't really think that there's I think it's time for change. I think the Tories have been in for too long now, and actually it would be beneficial for the country to have a change. But I don't. I'm not interested really. I'd vote for Nico if he was in my area. Yeah. Kyle, welcome to the Members Club. You're a legend. Who wins the Euros based on most attractive women? Says Goldio. You sexist. I'm not looking at any of that. You don't get that as much anymore anyway, do you? I mean, I'm watching the TV. This is game 4. I haven't seen that as much as you used to. If you know, you know. They used to... The camera guy was doing it all the time. They don't do it anymore, do they? Would you take Schlotterbeck at United, says Joel? And... He's a good player, but we're not linked to him. And I think the players that we are linked to, I'm very happy. You know, Branthwaite, Todibo, Guehi to a certain extent has been linked to us. You know, Yoro. I'm happy with what we're being linked to. Couple of subs here. Cristante is coming on. Chiesa is coming off. Pellegrini's coming off as well. Look, it's 2-1. It's not game over. Albania are surely going to have a bit of a go here. Italy, if they drew this game, it would be a great point for Albania, but Italy would probably look back at it and go, we have had chances to kill the game. But at 2-1, it's not over yet. Sav says Italy are going to close it out now. Well, the thing about closing it out is you invite the pressure that Albania haven't really had. So Pellegrini and Chiesa off. Cristante and Cambioso on. Richard Bowyer, thanks for your super chat. He says, do you feel you won the YouTube rivalry? Do you feel you won the YouTube rivalry? YouTube rivalry? I don't know what it is. I'd need more detail. What's the rivalry? Can Albania create a chance in the last 12? Good play by Fratesi to keep that in. Will you watch the Copa America, says Goldio? No. Not a chance. I'll be absolutely honest. Not a chance. Too late and too many games going on for the Euros. I'm a man, not a machine. I can't do it all. Poland, Netherlands predictions, says Philippe. I fancy the Netherlands to win that one quite comfortably, actually. Look, I'd love Poland to surprise me. I don't think Lewandowski's even going to play. And good shot there by DeMarco, straight at the keeper, though. I don't think Lewandowski's going to play. And we've also got... I just think Poland, every tournament I've ever watched them, have been quite disappointing. How do you look at Holland as the dark horses, says Loom? I think that with Holland, Will be Man United, thank you for the follow. I think with Holland, they have to be considered a dark horse because I just think that, I mean, the only time they've won anything in my life was '88, and they had a very good team with Van Basten and Hullet. But I think De Jong and Coop Miners are difficult players to replace for them. You know, it's two midfield. When you lose players because of injury, I suppose it's to be expected. But when you lose two players in the week before the tournament in the same area of the pitch, it's going to be difficult. Rose, thanks for the super chat. JTS says, do you still think Stephen Hewson is an idiot? Oh, mate, that's a long time ago. I don't, that's a long time ago. I don't give it any thought. Will you watch Copa America? Done that from Goldio. Rose, thanks very much. Thank you very much. Danny Esther says, do you think Croatia will struggle against this side? Skamaka's coming off as well. DeMarco's coming on. A bit of a dull second half, says Diego. Yeah, look, I think Albania, for Italy, get 3 points. For Albania, they've struggled to be creative. Be very interesting to see Albania against Croatia, actually, because as much as it was the dream start, conceding 2 goals quite quickly, they've struggled to deal with... I think they've defended... Well, I don't know about Albania, actually. I'm tempted to say they've done quite well, but then I think, well, actually, Italy could have easily had another couple of goals in the first half. TB, thanks for the follow. I mean, I don't agree that Italy have been boring. Some people are saying they've been boring. I disagree. I think they've... if you look at the stats, which I thought were on the screen there, but they are now. 17 shots, 5 on target, 70% possession. It's nice to see Albania in the tournament, but if I'm being completely blunt, and I think you have to be, their style of football is the most uneasy on the eye that I've seen so far. It's so defensive. It's so counter-attacking. It is traditional international football. And if you want to get to a tournament and you're Albania, I completely understand why they do it. 100%. If they open up, they won't even be here. So, you know, fair play. The coach has them well organised. Well structured, but it's not a good watch. They're not progressive. They're not creating chances. Colin says, would you ever retire in Ireland, Mark? I tell you what, I would like to have a premises in Ireland, which would mean retiring because I can't afford 2 houses. It's a weird thing. It's a weird lesson, actually, in life that I'm not from Ireland, but it's probably the happiest place I've ever lived. I don't really feel an attachment to anywhere, and I haven't really, but I really did feel like that 3.5 years in Ireland. I felt that was the place that made me who I am, but also the place I was happiest. You know, in an identity way, in the sense that I felt that I had a connection with that place. I wouldn't say it was the happiest I was because I didn't have my kids then. I wasn't married then, but I did like living there. Rose says, forgot to put a message on the last one. In terms of contingency planning, who would be your 3 managers to go for if Ten Hag doesn't work out? No, not talking about that, Rose. That's not happening. We're with Ten Hag. We're sticking with him. That's what we're doing. Johnny says, I've been very impressed with Italy. Johnny, you're talking my language. English, obviously, but I do agree. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 100 away from 167,000. Absolute legends for tuning in. Really appreciate that. England tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a banging. I'm out in the afternoon for a meal. So I'll have had a few. My England kit's all ironed and ready to... It's not a kit, it's a top. And it's coming home. Be a different Goldbridge tomorrow night. Not necessarily a better one. Might be you might not like it, but it's different when England play. These games on That's Football are a bit like when I watch Arsenal play Spurs. I just love football. But tomorrow, we'll be bringing the passion. We will be bringing the passion. Park has done that on purpose. There was enough space for Jack on the table with Rose. Yeah. 100%. And even if there wasn't, why should he, as a working class person, let the upper class person go on the silver spoon life that she's already been living for 20 years? And I'm sorry, but sex doesn't come into it. Condiment just said Rose was a slag. Look, I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but that's got nothing to do with it. I've watched you since 2018. Love your work ever since, says Mitesh. Well, look, don't forget, James has been so kind as to pin it in the chat. This book is coming out very soon. Football According to Mark Goldbridge. My life story around football. I wouldn't say it's my life story. It's more about observations around football. And if you enjoyed the bit last night where I was moaning about fair weather fans, there's loads about it. All sorts of stuff there. It's pinned in the live chat. You can pre-order it on Amazon. It's Audible as well, which I'm looking forward to listen to. And you can also get signed copies as well. So check it out. Thanks for your support. Who do you think is going to win the Euro, says Mama on TikTok. Well, he's coming home. Told you before. Oh, what? Wait a minute. I've got a phone call. Yeah, I've just been told it's coming home. It's coming home. But, of course, I'm realistic. Anybody can say it's coming home before the tournament. Anyone can say France are going to win the tournament based on their squad before the tournament. What we're now living is the reality. And, you know, I think predicting who's going to win it is before the tournament starts. Now the tournament starts, if you're like me, you're watching teams and going, ooh, that's what they're all about. Ooh, that's what they're all about. Ooh, they're not as what... So we can all predict who's going to win the tournament before it, but I think now that it's started, keep your predictions, but obviously that might change as the tournament develops, especially the group stage. I don't think Germany... I've always said keep an eye on Germany. I don't think you can underestimate the power of hosting a tournament, and they've got some good players. If it comes together, Germany are dangerous. Portugal are a team. Again, I look at Portugal, what a squad, but I look at the manager and go, I don't rate Martinez. Albania! Oh my God, straight across the face of the goal and wide. In the 89th minute. So, yeah, I think you've just got to, you know, Germany, let's see what they do in their last 2 group games. Italy, let's have a look at, and Spain. Italy and Spain, let's see how they do against each other on Thursday. Switzerland, dark horse. We've only seen 4 games. There's a lot more games to see. JTS says DeMarco sort of reminds me of 2021 Luke Shaw. Look, everybody watches football in a different way. I'm telling you now, when Italy have got their best team on in the first half, look at Fratesi and Chiesa drifting to the right. They're the front 3. Scamacca's central. Fratesi and Chiesa are pulling to the right. The left side is being done exclusively by DeMarco, who's the left back. It's incredible what are the amount of work he's getting through in that team. Johnny says, what's your prediction on England game 3-0? Mate, if we go and beat Serbia by 2 or 3 tomorrow, that's a statement. They're not a bad team. Should have been a corner for Albania. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Someone's ran on the pitch. Why? Hart boy's not happy. Well, it should have been a corner. I don't think it was going to go in, but Donnarumma definitely moved it away. Florencio is coming on here for Italy. Probably the least known player in the Italian squad. You would not be ridiculed for not knowing much about them. Plays for Verona. And comes on here for Barella. Interesting story, actually, with Florencio. His career has been predominantly loan. Napoli since 2019, but has been loaned to 6 clubs. Bari, Regina, Pordenone, Regina, Bari, Verona. And yet picked for Italy. I think it's only his second cap. First call up in March 2024. I wonder why he's got called up for Italy by an ex-Napoli coach. I've just explained it, haven't you? Spalletti obviously knows him from Napoli, and there we go. They've had a few injuries, though, haven't they, in their midfield, like Locatelli, Tonali, obviously suspended, so... I just want to say, by the way, and it's not the drink. I've bloody loved today. I've absolutely loved it, and everything I do, I'm always aware of how it happens in relation to my career and what my career is now. But today, I've absolutely loved it. 2 streams in the Goldbridge Arms with Will and Niall and all of you, and then finishing it off with a couple of beers, watching Italy, who very much impressed me, Albania, who've brought the atmosphere, and all of you lot as well. I've loved today. It's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, so tomorrow, hopefully, will be even better, because England tomorrow night, but we're in the Manchester studio tomorrow from 2, so make sure you're there to see that. Remember, we've got 3 studios for you in this Euros. We've got Goldbridge Arms, we've got this one, and then we've got the Manchester one as well. So get involved in the chat, bring the banter, bring the community, and yeah, it's been brilliant today. I'm sure we're going to get a 0-0 at some point. We can pray that we're not, but from what we've seen in the first 4 games, we're averaging over 3 goals a game. 6 in last night's game, 4 at the 2 o'clock, 3 in the 5 o'clock, and 3 in this. So we're over 3 goals a game at the moment. Loving it, absolutely loving it, and you play, as always, you play a massive part. Community is what we're all about, and you've been brilliant. Make sure you give us a subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're on YouTube, and thanks everyone to TikTok as well. Give us a follow. Albania have just whipped a crossing that could have found itself into the top corner. It's gone wide. I think that's probably going to be about it. I'm on the United stand at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yeah, I don't think there's anything going on for me to do a show tonight. Will was class as well today. Yeah, he was. It was a brilliant, brilliant show. we'll be back in the Goldbridge Arms. It's just Will might be going over to Germany at some point, so we've just got to figure it out. But we will do every game anyway. Arthur says it's never coming home. Italy have won full time. Donnarumma's happy. I tell you what, massively looking forward to Italy against Spain on Thursday. Really think that's going to be a massive game. Very impressed with Italy. Spain were very impressive as well. Game 2, bring it on. Looking forward to that. And I tell you what, shout out Italy as well. I did say keep your eye on DiMarco. I think he's going to be a very interesting player in this tournament for Italy. But I think another player that deserves a massive shout out, and we know about Bastoni, of course we do. We know about Barella. Obviously, Jorginho, we know a lot about him. But I thought Fratesi and Calafiori, really, really good as well. Don't know loads about those two players. I know a little bit about Fratesi, to be fair, because he plays for Inter. But Calafiori, Bologna, didn't really know a lot about him. And good, good to see Scamacca back. I know he's had a good season for Atalanta, but I think he can be an important player as well. I think that Spain-Italy game is going to be important about who finishes top of the group, and the fact that it's the second game as well. I think it's going to be really, really, really interesting to see how that works out. And as you can see, that will be on Thursday. They're both top. Spain have got a better goal difference. Albania, Croatia will be interesting as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You're absolute legends. Make sure you subscribe on the way out. Give us a follow. We'll see you tomorrow on this channel from 1:30 for the Netherlands. Tomorrow at 1:30 for a 2 o'clock kickoff. And then, obviously, it's Denmark at 5 and England at 8. Bring it on. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care. Absolute legends today. Your support is so important. Thank you very much. And hope you've had a good day with us. And I'll speak to you all in a bit.